Okay, y'all hang on a second. I'm trying to figure out something. Okay. I want everybody to pay attention because this, I'm going to show you how to read this graph, and you're going to have to answer questions from it. And when I show you how to do it, go out in the hallway. No, go. When I show you how to do it, then you're going to go ahead and take your notes. You need to let me know if you have any questions, if you don't understand how to do this, because your assignment tomorrow has to do with this graph. Okay? So, this is what's called a solubility graph. If you notice going up on the y-axis, you have the grams of solute. Remember yesterday we calculated the mass of how much solute would dissolve in a certain amount of liquid. Okay, going across the x-axis is your temperature. Now, you're going to have this in your notes, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you anyway. Any amount that is on this line, okay, like for right here for N8NO3, if you have any amount on the line, that means that your solution is saturated, okay? If the amount falls below the line, it is unsaturated. And if it goes above the line, it is supersaturated. Now let me explain what I mean, okay? Let me go forward on my notes. So it says right here, gives you an example. If you dissolve 40 grams of KCl in 100 grams of water at 80 degrees Celsius, okay, it's always going to be 100 grams of water. So you do not have to worry about that number. The 2 or 3 things that you're looking for actually are going to be the mass of your solute, so your 40 grams. You're looking for what your solution is, KCl. And you're looking for the temperature, okay? So, you find your temperature, 80 degrees, okay? Your KCl line is right here. See, it has the name right above it. So, at 80 degrees, you go up to where it reaches 40 grams. So, this is 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so your point is right here. Is that on the KCl line or below it or above it? Below. Okay, it's below it. So does that mean it is saturated, unsaturated, or supersaturated? Unsaturated. It's unsaturated. Good. So do you see what I'm talking about now when I say if it falls below the line or on the line or above the line? Now, if it were to say 50 grams, of 50 grams of solute, okay, then it would be saturated because that point right there is right on the KCl line, okay? Now let's look at the next one. Okay, the next example says if you dissolve 70 grams of NH4Cl in 100 grams of water at 50 degrees, okay? So you're looking for 70 grams, NH4Cl, 50 degrees. So go over to your 50 degrees, find your NH4Cl, it's right there, and you're looking for 70 grams. So at 50 degrees, go up to 70 grams. Your point is right there. So what kind of solution would this be?
A supersaturated.
It's supersaturated. Okay? Good. Now, let's look at this one. You've got 20 grams KClO3 at 50 degrees. Okay? KClO3 is right here. So at 50 degrees, you've got 20 grams. Okay, so what kind of solution would this be?
Saturated.
Saturated. Good. Now, let me ask you this right here, because your work tomorrow is going to ask you what kind of, how much more would you need to be saturated. So let's look at this. Let's go back to this one. 80 degrees, and we've got 40 grams. How much more could we add to be saturated? Yeah, you'd add 10 more grams, and you could be saturated of KCl. Okay? Some of your questions tomorrow are going to ask you how many more grams can you add to saturate the solution. Okay? Are there any questions on how to read this? I know it looks confusing because there's like 50 million lines on here going in all different directions. One more thing, let me explain. Okay? The lower the line is, that means it has the lowest solubility. The higher up you go, increases your solubility. Okay? So Ki up here, potassium iodide, is going to be the most soluble solute on this chart. Okay? And down here, it looks like cesium sulfate is going to be the least soluble. Okay? And if you look, see how these lines go this way? Some of them go down this way. That means as you increase temperature, you're actually decreasing its solubility. Whereas the other ones, when you increase temperature, it increases solubility. Do y'all see how that goes too? Okay, I figured y'all were pretty smart at reading graphs. I just wanted to go over this before I just let you loose with an assignment tomorrow, because you are going to see some questions on your test that you're going to have to look at a graph and determine most soluble, least soluble, if it's unsaturated, supersaturated, and so forth. Okay? Colt, what's your question? Does it have to do with this?
Yeah,
Okay.
If you're going to test, will it be that type of graph?
Yes. It'll probably be this exact graph. Okay? So it's important today and tomorrow, or the rest of the week, if you don't understand this, you need to see me, okay? Because I need to be able to help you if you don't understand. All right. The rest of this class, I want you to do notes. You've got